Mohamed, markets moving on the data. Do you still believe that kind of statement today?
Oh, absolutely. I think that what's determined where the market goes over the next few weeks is going to be what we hear from the White House, and in particular the balance between the pro-growth elements and the ones that the markets worry about, which is protectionism. And that balance is going to be key in determining not just where the market goes overall, but also the underlying volatility.
And especially when you're also faced with executive orders and then the rhetoric, that adds another level of tension. How do you construct a portfolio that isn't complacent and that addresses that kind of risk?
I think you want two elements. One is you want resilience, and you want to focus on companies not just with strong balance sheet, but also with the ability to adapt quickly. And second, you want a certain amount of optionality. Now, if you look at what has happened, we've gone through three very distinct phases of the Trump rally. The surge from after the election until mid-December, the consolidation from mid-December till Inauguration Day, and then greater volatility. And I think we are in this phase of greater volatility.
Mohamed, thus far the president basically has done what he said. So let's just take him at his word. And he would say all of the above. I both want to have more restrictive trade policies to keep manufacturing jobs onshore, and I want to have tax reform, I want to have deregulation. If you get that combination, are we headed towards stagflation or growth and reflation?
That's very hard to say, David, because a lot will depend on the details. If we get that balance, I think markets are going to be in the midst of a tug of war, and we're going to see a lot more volatility. The hope is you get a very strong signal that this is about pro-growth. And yes, to the extent that we can renegotiate certain trade agreements, we should do so. And it's always good to revisit trade agreements after decades. That's what most sensible people do. But be careful about rupturing long-standing trading relations.
And when you talk about trading relations, give me a rank order. China versus Mexico, which is more important to the United States right now?
They're both important, David. I think if you move on one, if you're worried about the systemic effects, the global systemic effects, you would put China above. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
You carry on,
So
Mohamed,
if you're worried
please.
about the global systemic effects, certainly China is more important than Mexico. But if in the context of the U.S., they're pretty equal. Mexico plays a significant role, and one has to be careful. I was in Canada a few days ago, and they're really concerned. They're really worried about what's happening to their major trading partner.
Mohamed, just very quickly, if you can, in about 10 seconds, two options. One's a 10-year Treasury at 245. The other's a stock market near an all-time high. Buy and hold for the rest of the year. Which one?
The stock market.
There we go.